Hi there, Brian here with Whole Latte Love, and in this video I'm going to be covering the Life, a new grinder from Ceado. The Life is a multi-purpose 50mm flat burr grinder built and designed in Italy to not only be dependable and durable, but to complement the aesthetics of any space. It won a Good Design Award from the Chicago Athenaeum, but the Life isn't just a pretty face. It also comes with many of the same high-quality components Ceado has been using in their commercial-grade grinders for years. So let's go over some of the features. The Life has an incredibly small footprint at only 5 inches wide and 4.5 inches deep at its base. One of my favorite features, and what I hope becomes a trend in home coffee grinders, is the Life comes out of the box with 2 potential configurations. For on-demand grinding, you can install the 8.8-ounce capacity bean hopper, and for single-dose grinding, you can install the single-dose chute and bellows. These are easily interchangeable with just the tightening or loosening of one screw. The 50mm flat steel burrs are rear-mounted, thus creating a more uniform cutting surface by eliminating the screw heads normally found on screwed-through burrs. The burrs are also custom-made for the Life with a unique teeth pattern for better feeding of the beans across the cutting surface. Grind size is adjusted steplessly by a knob on the side which adjusts the distance between the mobile bottom burr and the stationary top burr. By making the top burr stationary, you can change what hopper you're using and access the grinding chamber, all without losing your set grind size. 2 timed dosing options are easily programmable within a tenth of a second using the high contrast touch display, as well as a manual dosing option. The chute distributes the grounds neatly into either the supplied grounds bin or directly into your portafilter using the sturdy hand-adjustable fork. The Life grinder comes in a handful of colors, sure to look great in any coffee setup. Let's go over some of the basic operation of the Life. If using the hopper for on-demand use, time dosing is going to be your best friend. To set the time dosing, press the left button beneath the 3 lines to open the menu. From the time select screen, press either the single or double dose options to change the time of that setting. Press the plus or minus buttons to adjust the grind time in 1/10 of a second increments. If single dosing, the manual dosing option is going to be more ideal. To access manual dosing, press both the single and double dosing buttons simultaneously. From here, pressing the left button with the hand icon gives you the option to choose how the pulse mode works. With pulse mode off, the motor will activate only as long as the start button is pressed. With pulse mode on, the motor will run after a tap of the start button and run until the button is pressed again. So pre-weigh your beans, toss them into the single dosing chute, place the bellows assembly on top, and then start grinding. Once the bellows assembly has lowered all the way to its base, use your palm to cover the top and give it a couple good puffs to help clear out the grinding chamber. I've tested this grinder for months and have found that when used correctly, the single dosing attachment does well in limiting per grind retention to an average max of 0.2 of a gram, but more often than not, it's right on the money. As a multi-purpose grinder, the Life has a range of brewing methods it can accommodate, from espresso to a drip coffee maker. When adjusting grind sizes, you have one full stepless rotation of the knob with hard stops at 0 and 9. I created this chart to illustrate our recommendations for appropriate brewing methods per grind size according to the numbers on the knob, and I've also included the average particle size at each of these increments. Between 0 and 2 was a good range for espresso. Between 2 and 3 was ideal for a mocha pot. From 3 to 4 worked well in an AeroPress. Between 4 and 6 is what you would use in the Ceado hoop. From 6 to 8 gives you plenty of room to dial in your conical pour-overs, and from 8 to 9 works well in a standard coffee maker. Now, keep in mind that these findings are relative, and many factors can influence usable grind sizes such as different coffees, roast levels, altitude, temperature, and humidity. As with pretty much every other grinder, if using the hopper, it's best to only adjust finer when actively grinding to help avoid jamming the burrs. Grinding for espresso with the Life produces an adequate amount of fines, thus providing great richness and body to the shots, but when coarsening up for, say, a pour-over, fines are minimized, making for a wonderfully clean cup. For a grinder this size, the fact that it has a 250-watt motor capable of spinning the burrs at a rate of 1,650 RPM is amazing. In testing the grinding speed of the Life, I repeatedly ran the grinder at 5 seconds, weighed the output, and averaged the results. At a grind size suitable for espresso, in this case 1.8 on the knob, the Life produced grounds at a rate of 1.7 grams per second. I'll do the math for you here and tell you that means that a standard 18-gram double shot takes about 10.5 seconds to grind. Espresso grounds leave the chute neatly and distribute virtually clump-free into your portafilter. When grinding for brewing coffee, in this case, I set it all the way to 9. The Life ground at a rate of 2.4 grams per second. I want to mention here that even though the Life is equipped with a system to control static electricity produced during grinding, coarser grind settings create noticeably more static than espresso grind settings. Grinding noise produced by the Life grinder is on par with many other similar grinders in this range. When measured at a typical earshot away, the Life averaged decibel ratings in the mid to upper 70s. Ceado took a bold step with their Life grinder, taking their industry-recognized commercial build quality and putting it all into a beautifully designed multi-purpose home use grinder. With usability in mind, dialing in for any brewing method on the Life is simple, but if you're looking for a more in-depth tutorial on dialing in, check out Mark's video over here. You won't regret it. Once again, I'm Brian, thanks for watching, and I'll see you back soon for more of the best on everything coffee.